must grow our own thing. They think we have to start growing more. We have to start doing, but we have to do more.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo visits Garki Market in Abuja to feel the pulse of the people and food prices as Democracy Day celebration approaches.
I think it's a welcome development from all perspectives. From the perspective of intercommunal harmony and coexistence among the diverse peoples of northern Nigeria.
Nigeria's northern governors signed memorandum of understanding with European Union development partners on provision of qualitative and accessible education using the digital classroom innovation in rural areas. Acting President Osinbajo felicitates with Nigerian Muslims as they join other faithful across the world to commence Ramadan fast. And Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar declares Saturday 27th as first day of Ramadan. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober. As Democracy Day celebration approaches, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo paid a visit to the Garki Market in Abuja to feel the pulse of the people on the prices of commodities. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the Acting President gave an assurance that the Buhari administration will not relent in its pursuit of making life better for people of the country.
Governance is all about the people. This visit to the Garki Market by the Acting President is an attestation that the Buhari administration has open ear to listen to the people and their complaints over the high cost of foodstuffs in the markets. And the traders in this market expressed the delight of seeing and receiving the Acting President, with many in disbelief that the wide gap between the leaders and the led could be so bridged. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo, in his interactions with the traders who complained of high cost of goods, appealed to them to sell, buy, and eat made in Nigerian products.
And a lot of the fish is locally is here.
From Nigeria.
It's not it's imported.
From imported.
You see, this is the thing. We must buy our own fish. We must grow our own thing. They think we have to start growing more. We have to start doing, but we have to do more.
A kilo is 1,000.
Yes, but it's still more expensive. The imported is more expensive. One of the things that we are saying is that we must also make sure that we use our own Nigerian things, because every other country, they grow what they eat. We have a lot of water, way too much fish. We must find a way of producing and making sure that we get more of our own.
But by the grace of God, the thing is coming down. Like this king soil, it used to be 18,075, but now it's 13,800.
Okay, so it's coming down.
Yeah, it's coming down gradually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope it comes down even more.
Okay.
But a lot of it will be if we can produce our own. And that's one of the things we're trying to do, to make sure that we produce locally.
Okay.
Because if we don't produce locally, this thing will be so expensive. Because the dollar thing,
Since now the rice is getting down, because as we bought it before, we buy back Mugu Krondot. We buy 850 naira, and now it's coming to 720 naira. And we went market yesterday, and it's getting down. It's coming down to 4.
We are going to bring it down even more.
We appreciate.
We have to introduce subsidy.
We wish Baba's head back and the health.
It will be healthy and it will come back well.
We are appreciating your government. We are praying for success for this government. We are always praying this day and night.
Chaired the mammoth crowd, the Acting President said government would continue to support Nigerian farmers to boost food production and reduce prices of commodities. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
A memorandum of understanding towards the provision of qualitative and accessible education using the digital classroom innovation in rural areas has been signed between Nigeria's Northern Governors Forum and development partners of the European Union, Pro Futuro. The program, being facilitated by the Kuka Foundation, is also aimed at promoting interfaith collaboration in the country. Abdullahi Garba Brindon Kudu has the details.
With an estimated 14 million children out of school in northern part of Nigeria, the region is considered educationally disadvantaged with a gap of 67 to 33% literacy level compared with other regions. This agreement between the Northern Governors Forum and Profuturo Foundation is to enhance access to education in the remotest part of the north using digital age facilities.
To implement this digital education all over the world to have a much better world and a much better future for this generation and the next generation.
This is a program that was anchored by our erudite scholar, Bishop Matthew Kuka, and our erudite Emir of Kano. I think it's a welcome development from all perspectives. From the perspective of intercommunal harmony and coexistence among the diverse peoples of northern Nigeria, from the perspective of uplifting our society to a better place.
The involvement of religious leaders in the entire project is to promote interfaith collaboration as both Islam and Christianity support the quest for knowledge.
Islam, as far as its purity and its religion is concerned, is about knowledge. The quest for knowledge is inherent in Islam, is inherent in every religion. We're hearing, for example, that the young people, poor children in Latin America, are beginning to do what computer scientists in India are doing in America, which is that you don't have to leave your village, you don't have to leave your cultural environment.
It is expected that millions of children targeted in the project will come from the downtrodden of the society. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Birnin Kudu, NTA News.
And staying with education, the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has reaffirmed her determination to continue to give the youths all the support they require in building their confidence for a brighter future. Mrs. Buhari stated this at the launch of the Youth Education Empowerment Program in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the wife of the president also took responsibility for settling the fees for NECO, WAEC and JAMB examinations for all the students who participated in the exercise.
The launching of the Youth Education Empowerment Program, YEP, is another milestone of the initiative of the wife of the president of empowering the Nigerian youth to have a sense of belonging encapsulated in the agenda of Future Assured. The intention is to reach out to the youth across the country to equipping them with the requisite knowledge of writing, public speaking, and communication skills. The other aspect of YEP is the tutorial class for NECO, WAEC, and JAM as a remedy of their failure in securing admission into the tertiary institutions of learning. With piloting the program at the Aliyu Mustafa College in Yola, the alma mater of the wife of the president, it's a dream come true.
I've looked forward to this day with excitement and several reasons. Firstly, to witness the realization of my long-standing dream of giving back to my people, my community, and my country. Secondly, I looked ahead to this day to celebrate the many potential smiles on the faces of our young men and ladies who could not make their secondary school exams, but have now gotten the opportunity to participate in the tutorial to prepare themselves for the future.
This demonstrates to you the Secretary to the Government of Adamawa State, Dr. Umar Binder, who stood in for the Governor Muhammad bin Dow Jibrila, alongside the wife of the Governor, Mariam Muhammad bin Dow, as well as the consultants and other stakeholders, applauded the effort of the wife of the president and promised to remain key players in the project.
On behalf of the teeming families in Adamawa State, I wish to express our endless gratitude.
We are going to evaluate this program at the end of the lifespan of the project, and the evaluation findings will inform and guide the scale-up of this intervention.
My greatest challenge before this intervention by Her Excellency...
To the beneficiaries, some of whom were out of school for almost 20 years, it's a new dawn. Highlight of the event was the presentation of the new brand laboratory science equipment to students at the Chiroma Academy by the wife of the president, courtesy of Future Assured. In Yola, Adamawa State capital, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
In the meantime, Senate President Bukola Saraki has decried the rising rate of out-of-school children in the country. This, he said, is in spite of Nigeria being a signatory to the Child Rights Act, which provides for unfettered development of the child. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayanu reports that the Senate President was speaking at a legislative roundtable on child welfare in Abuja.
The plight of the Nigerian child came under close scrutiny at the round table. Participants decried a situation whose consequent effect is a threat to raising healthy and responsible citizens. Organized by the Office of the Senate President, the round table is aimed at celebrating, promoting, and securing the future of the Nigerian child. Senator Bukola Saraki called for concerted efforts from stakeholders to ameliorate additional pressure being faced by children across the nation.
The other area that comes to mind, which we must keep on looking about, is the issue of funding our education. We must see that there's strict implementation of free education. We talk about it, but it's still not the case all over the country.
Various speakers commented on child labor industry, violence against women and girls, followed by a question and answer session.
The Nigeria of my dreams is a place where there is free education and motivated and qualified teachers accessible to all the children, especially the girl child.
Children's Day is celebrated in Nigeria on 27th of May each year. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
And Governor Rocha Sokorocha has reiterated his resolve to execute projects that will affect the lives of Imo people positively, particularly in the education sector. He said this during the Imo Students Leadership Summit. Governor Okorocha, who earlier took a tour of the government house with the students, charged them to utilize the free and quality education provided by his administration effectively in order to secure their future.
Some of you are privileged, some of your parents are working, some of you have nothing, some of you, it doesn't matter. That is yesterday's story. The future is bigger than yesterday. So today, you rise from here becoming great people, and you rise from here becoming leaders in your own capacity.
The students took turns to perform and recount the strides of the governor.
And the girl boy calls him my salvation. His Excellency, Owele Wochak Anayo Okuwacha, calls him my helper. Oh. My helper. Oh.
The summit was organized by Imo State Government in collaboration with the Ministries of Education and Women Affairs, preparatory to Children's Day celebration. It had as its theme, how to be a great leader. Kano State Government is to collaborate with the Nigerian Communications Commission in a bid to provide technical support to strengthen its institutions. Governor Umar Ganduje stated this at the maiden matriculation and inauguration of the National Innovation Diploma Programs of the Digital Bridge Institute, Kano. Mansour Aliyu Hassan reports.
The Digital Bridge Institute (DBI) was established in 2004 by the Nigeria Communications Commission with the mandate of becoming an international center for telecommunications studies, as well as foster rapid development of the nation's telecommunications marketplace. The Executive Vice Chairman, Nigeria Communications Commission, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, said the institute has been granted approval as an Innovation Enterprise Institute by the National Board for Technical Education (NBTE) in 2016. To award National Innovation Diploma.
Since the successful takeoff of the Lagos and Kano campuses of the DBI, we have other campuses now in Asaba, in Enugu, in Yola.
Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje congratulated the NCC for having a reputable world-class telecommunication institute.
We undertook a stop in order to generate into e-governance. We took a stock of the use of facilities in our ministries, departments.
There was a goodwill message from the Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, for the newly admitted students of the institute. It is a wake-up call.
I'm very extremely happy today with the matriculation.
Kano State, we don't have much educated at multimedia technology.
Digital Bridge Institute runs 5 specialized ICT courses, such as software engineering, computer hardware engineering, networking and system security, telecommunications technology, and multimedia technology. In Kano, Mansur Aliyu Hassan, NTA News.
Sultan Muhammad Saad Abu Bakr declares Saturday 27th as the first day of Ramadan. Let's join Asmao in our Sokoto Network Center for the details. Asmao.
Thank you, Cyril. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abu Bakr III, has declared tomorrow, Saturday, as the first day of Ramadan 1438 after Hijrah. He made the announcement in Sokoto this evening.
In accordance with Islamic law, we have the pleasure to announce that today, Friday, the 29th day of Sha'ban, 1438, after Hijrah of the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is equivalent to 26 May 2017, has marked the end of Sha'ban and the beginning of the new month of Ramadan, which has been cited in many states of the Federation. And this sighting was duly verified and authenticated by the National Moon Sighting Committee. Consequent upon this, tomorrow, Saturday, the 27th day of May 2017, becomes the first day of Ramadan 1438 after Hijrah.
Prices of stuff in Sokoto markets have slightly increased ahead of this year's Ramadan fast. Muhammad Nasir went around some markets in Sokoto and now reports.
Prices of commodities, especially foodstuff, increases during Ramadan due to higher demand. Currently at Sokoto markets, prices of some foodstuff have slightly increased ahead of this year's Ramadan. Prices of vegetables like tomato, pepper and onion have increased due to the scarcity of the products at the markets.
What I was expecting is to get something cheaper, but I get some like 3 times more than my expectation.
No, it's cost than previous days.
However, price of locally made rice has decreased as a bag of rice that is sold at 35,000 naira before is now sold at 30,000 naira. A bag of imported rice is also sold at 15,500 naira. Prices of other items like sugar, milk, cooking oil are stable. Leadership of the Traders Association in the state said strict measures have been taken to ensure marketers did not unnecessarily increase prices of commodities during Ramadan.
Don't increase it because of the demand. I know whatever is higher sometimes is part of sugar, milk, and other things. We have enough product on the ground.
Despite the stability of prices of some commodities, there are no much buyers in the markets. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
And thus our package from Sokoto is back to Cyril in Abuja for more on Network News. Good evening.
Thank you, Asmao. In the meantime, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has felicitated with the entire Muslim community in Nigeria as they join other faithful across the world to commence Ramadan, the holy month of fasting and prayer. The acting president implored Muslims to seek maximum benefits from the Ramadan period by replicating the teachings of the Holy Prophet in all their engagements. He appealed to all Nigerians, especially Muslims, to also use the period of Ramadan for reflection on national challenges and join forces with the Buhari administration to overcome them. A statement by Laulu Akondi, Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the acting president, said being a period of spiritual perseverance, temperance, introspection and retrospection with Almighty Allah, the acting president urged Muslims to use the Ramadan to renew their commitment to the virtues of love and peace taught by the Prophet and also work towards achieving them. While calling on Nigerians to continue to pray for President Buhari and the nation in general, Professor Osinbajo urged Muslim faithful to also remember the less privileged in the society during the special period. And Still on the Ramadan, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs has also felicitated with the Muslim Ummah on the auspicious occasion of Ramadan. The council wished the Muslim community a beneficial Ramadan and prayed Allah to grant the faithful the opportunity to maximize the benefits and blessings of the holy month. And fervent prayers have been held for Nigeria's success in its 18 years of uninterrupted democratic journey. Deputy Chief Imam of the National Mosque, Abuja, Ustaz Muhammad Kabir, led the congregation in the obligatory 2 rakat prayers attended by government functionaries, including Senate President Bukola Saraki. Abdullahi Musa Suleja also reports that another special prayer was offered in commemoration of the 61st anniversary of the Nigerian Navy at Defense Headquarters Mosque, Abuja.
Democracy has been described as the best and acceptable system of government. The system is now deeply rooted in Africa in general and in Nigeria in particular, which renders any form of government unfashionable. This, the Deputy Imam says, calls for appreciation even to those who fought for its emergence and the citizens that support it.
I call on the leaders to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their discharge of duties.
We should be grateful to Almighty Allah. Within the last 2 years, get security challenges in the country a foregone conclusion.
In another development, Muslims have been urged to always think positively as a way to achieving regeneration and national wellness. Chief Imam of Nigerian Navy Commander Taufik Mikdad Gidado stated this during his sermon at the Jumat prayer as part of the 61st anniversary celebration of the Nigerian Navy.
So by the time we begin to have a positive mindset, positive thinking, then there will be national wellness.
It is a covenant that we are bound in, that we are determined to realize, and for which we converge here to seek the face of the Almighty Allah.
Muslims have also been admonished to be faithful in observing the Ramadan fast and imbibe the lessons even after the period. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
The passage of the long-awaited Petroleum Industry Governance Bill by the Senate has been described as a cheering development that will provide favorable environment to improve businesses in Nigeria. A public affairs analyst, Jide Uju, stated this while commenting on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The Petroleum Industry Bill, which has gone through 5 sessions of the National Assembly, beginning from the 4th Assembly, was passed this Thursday after 12 years of legislative processes. This followed the consideration of the report of the Senate Joint Committee on Gas, Petroleum Downstream and Upstream, with little amendments. Jide Uju says the bill is expected to change the fortunes of the oil and gas sector in the country, among other benefits.
It's going to bring accountability and transparency. It's going to cut waste. It's going to ensure that host communities also get benefit, in terms of, I really don't know, part of the controversy in previous times was because of the 10% host community benefits that was supposed to accrue to those oil companies, that wherever you are exploring oil, those communities should get 10%. But I hope that is part of what the Senate has passed, because that is part of what can calm frayed nerves in Niger Delta.
He hopes that the entire process of the bill will be consummated early enough, beginning from concurrence by the House of Representatives to presidential assent, while eventual implementation of the bill is expected to bring benefits from foreign direct investment. The NNPC is to be unbundled under it. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And staying with the passage of the bill, let's now join Mia Ugidi, who has the reaction of some Nigerians.
Due to sensitive and broad issues in the oil and gas sector in Nigeria, the Senate split the Petroleum Industry Bill into 4 for easy passage. And on Thursday, 25th of May 2017, the Senate passed the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, which deals majorly on the governance structure of the oil and gas sector. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is to be unbundled into 2 entities. The Nigeria Petroleum Regulatory Commission will serve as industry watchdog. This development raises critical questions such as the fate of the staff of the NNPC, PPPRA, Department of Petroleum Resources, and the Petroleum Equalization Fund, and the powers of the Minister of Petroleum Resources.
The creation of additional jobs, that is not to mean that the staff of NNPC today will cease to exist. The commission will now do most of this function, will carry out most of this function exercised by the Honorable Minister today.
While acknowledging the benefits the country will get from this bill, such as more investment in the sector, transparency and increased oil and gas production for transportation and power, analysts expressed some reservations on host community rights and environment-related issues.
10% host community fund, they said host community fund and fiscal aspect of the bill shall later be treated by two separate bills. They want to separate them. Then how are they going to synergize that with this Petroleum Implementation and Governance Bill, the PIGBA, as they said it now?
By the time we want to put everything right, it will not work. They might not be 100% right. But what is important is that something has started.
NTA News crew visited the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the NNPC and the Department of Petroleum Resources to get their reactions on the bill that has just been passed by the Senate. But we were told by officials of the ministry and the two agencies that they just received a copy of the bill at about 11 a.m. on Friday and still studying in between the lines. So they reserved their comments. But on general note, they commended the efforts of the Senate for the passage of the bill. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Nigeria is a strong force in the coalition against global terrorism. Minister of Defense Mansour Ali said this in a meeting of the Islamic Coalition Against Terrorism in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. In a statement by the minister's media aide, Colonel Tukur Gusau, Mansour Ali stressed that the Buhari administration is committed to curbing terrorism in Nigeria as it negates human dignity and human rights. The coalition with 34 countries was initiated to end the reign of terror, especially attacks by ISIS in the Middle East and beyond. President Donald Trump of the United States of America was among world leaders at the forum. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has directed police commissioners and supervising assistant inspectors general of police in the southeast to place personnel on red alert on planned protests and the order of market closures on the 30th of this month. He warned that the planned protests by the indigenous peoples of Biafra, IPOB, the Movement for the Actualization of Sovereign State of Biafra, MASOB, and the Biafra Independent Movement and other groups have serious security implications. A statement by Force Public Relations Officer CSP Jimo Moshood said the group's renewed hostilities and subversive propaganda are aimed at undermining law and order in the southeast. The statement said the Inspector General of Police has therefore ordered the police to be strict, civil, but firm in dealing with the situation by putting anti-riot equipment on highest alert so as to stop these groups from disrupting commercial activities and vehicular movement in those states that are considered flash and vulnerable points. It asked the public to regard the news of planned protests and market closures by these groups as illegal and unilateral self-imposed restrictions. The federal government has declared 29th of May as public holiday to celebrate 2017 Democracy Day. A statement by the director overseeing the office of the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Interior, Muhammadu Machidu, quotes Minister of Interior, General Abdurrahman Dambazau, as congratulating Nigerians on witnessing another Democracy Day marking the second anniversary of the Buhari government. It assured Nigerians of government's continued efforts towards making the country a better place. And you can watch this broadcast live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still ahead, 50 years of Cross River State, and the FCT minister presents scorecard in the last 2 years. That's when we return.
Let's pepper them. So tell somebody to tell everybody to come join Timaya, baby. I did bring too much sauce. Glow Mega Music Talk. It's gonna be a mad over your 10.
Yo, wait, you know, we are showstoppers.
I'm your host for the biggest show ever.
If you miss the stuff, you're gonna miss everything. So join me, guys. Let's turn it up.
We'll be storming across Nigeria. I won't be anywhere else.
Everyone who is anyone is going to be there. All Nigeria's A-list musicians.
One big stage. Live and direct.
Glow Mega Music Tour all over Nigeria.
So watch out because we dey come.
Let's go!
It's the Glow Mega Music Tour with your favorite anchors and special guest stars. It's gonna be untamed. Text music and your preferred location to 207. Use 2,000 Naira Glow airtime in 1 month to stand in line for your free ticket. So what are you waiting for? The Glow Mega Music Tour.
Glow Unlimited.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, cordially invites the general public to the 2017 Nigerian Navy Week celebrations. The program of events is as follows. Special Jumat prayers at all commands on Friday, 26th May 2017, followed by Medical Rhapsody, NOAA philanthropic activities on Saturday, 27th May. Interdenominational church services will hold in all commands on Sunday, 28th May. Ships will be opened to visitors from 29th to 30th May, followed by a sea trip and commissioning of projects on 30th May. A seminar holds on Wednesday, 31st May at NNS Quora, Naval Base, Apapa, Lagos by 9 a.m. The week rounds off on 1st June with a volleyball match with a visiting Indian Navy ship, Takash, variety music show, and a ceremonial sunset and dinner. Nigerian Navy, onward together. Announcer Captain Suleiman Dahun, Acting Director of Information for Chief of the Naval Staff.
Rise up this morning, we smiled at the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, our melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
There's no limit to what you can do with data. With Nigeria's widest data network, it's amazing what you can make happen on MTN.
This is my message to you.
The Honorable Minister of Defense, Mansiru Muhammad Dan Ali, invites stakeholders to a meeting on the review of the Armed Forces Act, Cap A20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to bring it in line with contemporary standard and international best practice. Date, Tuesday, 30th May 2017. Venue, NAF Conference Center and Suites, Plot 496, Amadu Bello Way, Jahi, Abuja. Time 9 a.m. prompt. Memoranda in hard and soft copies are to be submitted to the Legal Services Department or via email at review@nigeriaarmedforcesact.com. Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين.
The management of the Nigeria Television Authority NTA, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria FRCN, and Voice of Nigeria VON cordially invites the Muslim Ummah and the general public to the 12th annual Ramadan lecture, which will inshallah take place on Saturday, 3rd June 2017 at Lumana Multipurpose Center, River Road, off Jabi Road East, off Sultan Road, Ngwarimi Jare, Kaduna, by 9 a.m. Topic of discuss: ongoing charity in Islam, to be delivered by Sheikh Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, Director General NIDA. Chief host, His Excellency Malan Nasir Ahmad Erufai, Executive Governor, Kaduna State. The Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, will be the special guest of honor, and His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Shehu Usman Musa III, Emir of Kefi, will be the chairman of the occasion. Host, Malam Yakubu Muhammad, the Director General NTA, Malam Mansur Liman, Director General FRCN, and Dr. Osito Kechuku, Director General VON. You are welcome. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
The House of Representatives Committee on Special Duties invites stakeholders and the public to a public hearing on a bill for an act to repeal the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission Establishment Act 2005 and enact the Public-Private Partnership Regulatory Commission, and a bill for an act to establish the National Boundary Task Force for the protection of persons and prevention of communal clashes and other criminal acts. Date 30th May 2017. Venue House of Representatives Room 028. Time first session 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Second session 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The following stakeholders are invited: Honorable Nasiru Sani Zangon Daura, Chairman, House Committee on Special Duties. Announcer.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed, as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thanks for staying with us on Network News. Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River State has charged indigents and residents of the state to always embrace peace and exhibit the spirit of patriotism so as to attain steady progress. The governor stated this during an interdenominational service in Calabar to mark the state's 50th anniversary celebration. Correspondent Uduak Etim has the story.
Governor Ayade, represented by his deputy, Professor Ivarisu, said since creation of the state in 1967, presently having 18 local government areas, Cross River State has stayed united and is still forging ahead despite challenges. Professor Ivarisu hinted that Cross River State, which is rated the most cleanest state in the Federation, has a good reputation in Nigeria and is moving in positive direction.
God has blessed us over these years with relatively good leaders. The Ben Ayade administration is working very hard in the area of industrialization. Congratulations for Cross River attaining 50 years in Jesus' name.
The Metropolitan Archbishop of Calabar, His Grace, Most Reverend Joseph Ekuwem, who preached on the topic, "Do no wrong to your neighbor," enjoined Cross Riverians to shun discrimination, but love one another, irrespective of religious affiliations, gender, tribe, and ethnicity. He called for continuous prayers for the state in order to move it to greater heights. Some prominent citizens of the state at the event described Cross River State 50th anniversary as a serious historical milestone worthy of celebration. Stakeholders believe that the best way to ensure sustainable growth and development is to embrace peace. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, reportedly witnessed massive infrastructural development in the last 2 years, with ongoing projects and the revival of abandoned ones. FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, while briefing the media on mid-term scorecard to commemorate 2 years of the Buhari administration, said the 2017 FCT budget will be dedicated to completing most ongoing projects. Mitare Ikwen reports.
The FCT minister noted that the continuation of intra-city road projects such as the airport, Kubwa and Goodluck Jonathan expressways and the completion of the current 45 km of the Abuja light rail are all geared towards decongesting the city center and making life meaningful for FCT residents.
We are all living witnesses to the successful milestones achieved with the Abuja light rail system. We are now in the process of procuring the locomotives, and by the grace of God, we are going to start trial movement of passengers towards the end of this year.
The minister said the Greater Abuja Water Project, Karshi Water Supply Project, upgrade of the road network in Karu Satellite Town, erosion control project in Abuja, and extension of the Apo Karshi Road project to Wasa have all received Federal Executive Council approval and will get priority attention in this year's budget. On land administration, over 500 cases of double or multiple allocations have been resolved and land racketeering reduced drastically.
But we are working towards resuming land allocation. But of course, we resume land allocation only where we have layouts that fit into the master plan.
The FCT minister said a long-term plan is being worked out for the upgrade of slums in the nation's capital to internationally acceptable standards as against outright demolition. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama has reiterated government's commitment to equipping the Nigerian woman with entrepreneurial skills to enhance economic freedom. The minister said this during the presentation of letters of commission by the United Nations Women Representative to Nigeria. Gabriel Odu reports.
The letters of commission to the Minister of Foreign Affairs is an indication of formal resumption in Nigeria. Receiving the letters from the UN Women Representative, the Minister of Foreign Affairs maintains that in spite of the cultural inhibitions against the Nigerian woman, government has rolled out social intervention programs and is willing to work with the UN women to improve her lot.
Our commitment is total. As you know, Mr. President, first of all, has a Ministry for Women's Affairs, and which clearly shows that this government is committed to providing all the support to push towards greater gender parity.
Well, we're working with the state government to bring women into the processes of decision making and to ensure that women also contribute to the maintenance of peace in the Northeast.
The United Nations General Assembly in 2010 created the UN Women, an entity for gender equality and empowerment of women. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has handed over to Borno State government building materials worth millions of naira as part of efforts to complement the reconstruction and resettlement of communities. Mohammed Goni reports that the Commission also presented food items for the upkeep of IDPs returned from Cameroon.
The Federal Commissioner says the presentation of the building materials and the food items was in line with the Commission's responsibility of ensuring that durable solutions are found for persons and communities who have been displaced by conflict, man-made and natural disasters. Sadia Umar Farouk stressed that the Commission remains committed to keying into the recovery plan for the Northeast as envisioned by President Muhammadu Buhari, adding that the food items are for the upkeep of the returning IDPs from Cameroon.
The state government will make provision for erecting the shelter, and then we come in to see how we can provide some kind of empowerment to these people so that they can, be able to depend, on themselves.
Governor Kashim Shettima appreciated the Federal Commissioner and other officials of the Commission for their continued support to Borno in this trying moment. The governor intimated the Federal Commissioner on the effort made to evacuate and resettle Nigerian refugees expelled from Cameroon and directed that the building materials and the food items be taken to Burma for the IDPs expelled from Cameroon. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Nasarawa state government is to enact a law that will protect the rights and cater for the social and educational needs of persons living with disabilities in the state. Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura stated this when he received a delegation from the United States of America, who are in the state to assess the newly constructed comprehensive special schools for persons living with disabilities. Joshua Ujito has details.
3 comprehensive special schools have been constructed in each of the 3 senatorial zones of Nasarawa State, with the sole aim of providing free and qualitative education for all persons living with disabilities in the state. The schools, which will also train persons living with disabilities in various skills and vocations, will be run in collaboration with the Gallaudet University of the United States of America. Preparatory to the takeoff of the schools, the Equipment and Technology Need Assessment Team, headed by Professor Simon Guteng of Gallaudet University, USA, was in the state to assess the schools and advise government appropriately on facilities needed for the smooth running of the school. Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura took them round the school in Lafia, where they expressed satisfaction with facilities already put in place.
Well planned, well thought out, well designed special schools that can provide educational services to various categories of students with disabilities.
Earlier at the Government House Lafia, Governor Al-Mukura told the delegation that to ensure the sustainability of the schools, government has commenced the process to enact law that will protect the schools for the future generation.
My dream is at the end of one's school calendar, after attending the senior secondary school, the graduates from this school would have the opportunity, given the curriculum, course content, and course of study, the platform to excel or further their studies in any higher institution anywhere in the world.
In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And time now to join Jennifer in our Lagos Center for stories making the rounds, particularly on the Nigerian Foods exhibition. Jennifer.
Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The federal government is working towards unlocking market opportunities for global competitiveness to strengthen small and medium-scale business in Nigeria with a view to meeting global standards. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Ikechukwu Engelama, made this known at the 2017 Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce African Food and Product Exhibition and Conference. Joy Ken Abakoya has details.
Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Ikechukwu Engelama, said the array of made in Nigeria foods and products exhibited attests to the effectiveness of the federal government's economic policies, which have given power to operators of small and medium enterprises in the country.
I want to assure our SMEs and producers that we'll do everything needed to ensure that the government agencies are helping them rather than hindering them.
Officials of the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce offer useful economic tips to participants.
A lot of the things that are made here, that are manufactured here, are truly Nigerian produced, including packaging and other things.
This is where we come in as the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce, where we can facilitate and help them to overcome a lot of their problems.
American Ambassador to Nigeria, Stuart Symington, also assured exhibitors and participants of United States support to promote and improve quality of locally made products.
If you get the quality right for exporting under AGOA to the United States, you can export to the whole world.
Theme for the 2017 Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce African Foods and Product Exhibition is Unlocking Market Opportunities for Global Competitiveness. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakoya, NTA News.
Now, stakeholders in the fisheries in Nigeria have debunked the recent speculation that the consumption of catfish is dangerous to human health. This claim was diffused at a media briefing held at the Nigerian Institute of Oceanography and Marine Research, Lagos, in collaboration with stakeholders from the Federal and State Department of Fisheries. Tunde Saiki has more on this and other benefits of eating catfish.
Sometime last year, there was a viral news in the social media that catfish harvested in Nigeria is harmful as it contains bad fat. The report warned that continuous consumption of catfish could invariably lead to cancer, inflammatory diseases, blood clots, arthritis, among other assorted ailments. It's against this background that stakeholders in fisheries decided to undertake a comprehensive research on that conclusion. Their findings shows that the campaign that Nigerian catfish is dangerous to health, after all, is a hoax.
It's been found that it has some medicinal value. It has value that can promote your health.
The Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Institute of Oceanography and Marine Research, Dr. Bola Akonde, said from available research findings, the African catfish is rich in moisture, protein, fat, ash, energy, and cholesterol, in accordance with the World Health Organization's standards.
Both the one caught from the wild, the one from farms, and as well as the one that are smoked or processed, they are all within the limits set by WHO.
The media briefing had in attendance officers from the Federal and State Ministry of Agriculture, fish farmers, processors, feed millers, and research fellows from the academia. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Now to business. Federal government moves to explore areas in non-oil sector which Nigeria has comparative advantage as financial experts laud economic policies which have led to a drop in inflation rate in the country. These and more in our business news segment with Ademola Adeoye.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on Business News segment. I am Ademola Adeoye. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelema, says the federal government will go beyond launching the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. It will establish an implementation mechanism that will ensure that the economic plan achieve its objective.
The plan is to hold a first-of-its-kind investor conference where we're going to, very targeted, maybe about 50 investors, and have a serious dialogue about very specific things we can do that will not only attract investment, but will lead to very good outcomes from those investments.
Postmaster General of the Federation, BC Adebuyi, says the proposed amendment of the Stamp Duty Act will not only impact positively on ease of doing business in the country, it will also make NIPOST more economically viable and investment-friendly.
We are amending the Stamp Duty Act in such a way that we can deploy our electronic stamps, and that will translate to a lot of revenue for NIPOST.
Let's now take a quick look at transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Market capitalization was 10.047 trillion naira, while the Osher index closed at 29.064.52 points. On the whole, investors bought more than 725.542 million shares, valued at 5.715 billion naira, in 4,435 deals. First Bank Nigeria with 45 kobo gain led the gainers table to close at 4 naira 89 kobo, followed by O&O, which added 64 kobo to each share price to close at 9 naira. Mobile with 14 naira 98 kobo loss was top in the losers category, followed by Len Africa, which depreciated by 4 kobo to close at 77 kobo.
Stock market report concludes our business news segment. The news at night continues shortly. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Demola. You're still watching NTA Network News. The news continues with Cyril in Abuja after this timeout.
God will damage you with blessings. The wisdom we God give you when you take the water, they find out this place is where they sell better food. He not even give Solomon one.
Thank you, sir. I submitted formula for enjoyment. Well, past every other apprentice for this place.
Yes, sir. If anybody see fish and say it go better for you, that person they blind though. Because yesterday, today, and your future now they chop so.
But now they don't fit be this one. Nah, here is the place they give me 4 times wetin I buy.
Isaka, I get it, sir. Hey, Isaka, come back here.
Introducing Glow Formula. Get 4 times your recharge to make local and international calls. Text and browse. To recharge, dial *323*PIN# to enjoy 4 times.
Wow! The largest data network. Glow Unlimited.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But
there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights.
How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
And we've got more messages just before the news continues.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights.
How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
And just a quick one on sports. Nigeria and the Coast Guard national team drew 1-1 with the equalizing goal scored by Kelechi Iheanacho to preserve the unbeaten record of Ghana Raw, the Super Eagles technical advisor. Other reports, we have Ayodeji Makinde.
Bauchi State Governor Mohammed Abubakar and his Plateau State counterpart Simon Lalong have promised to promote tourism using the game of golf. They spoke during the second edition of the Tourism Golf Tournament, which held in Bauchi State, with Ismail Abubakar emerging overall best winner.
Areas of comparative advantage of Bauchi State are agriculture, solid minerals, and tourism.
Tourists want to see if they are coming to your state, especially foreigners. The first thing